Welcome back to MSC 695. This is the second video in the series, and we're going to continue on with checking account. We're going to continue by talking about parts of the check and how to write a check and things of that nature. We're not going to really get into the particular descriptions of all the items and everything, just kind of give you the basics. Because once you get a checking account, you get some free checks, you're going to want to know how to write checks. So up here we have the front of the check, and down here is the back of the check. So basically when you get your first checks, your name will be up here on the check. So I mean, it comes pre-printed, you don't have to do anything with that. But when you go to write a check, this is how it would basically go. Generally you would put the date, the day you're writing the check in the date line right there. We do have what's called post-dated checks, which is where you put a date that would be sometime in the future. What you need to kind of understand about post-dated checks is that's between you, the person writing the check, and the person you're giving the check to. It has nothing really to do with the bank. If the person goes there, and let's say you write it for 2 months down the road to be cashed, and the person you give that check to takes that check in 2 weeks and tries to cash it, the bank will cash it. This post date is not honored by the bank. It's just between you and the person you're writing the check to. The next line on there is paid to the order of, which is basically just saying who you're going to pay. In this case, we owe Mickey Mouse some money, so we're paying Mickey some money. So you write his name in there, or her name in there. And then over here you're going to have a box with a dollar sign. This is where you write the numerical amount of the check, the amount that you want the check to be cashed for. In this case, I'm paying Mickey $1,000, so I write 1,000 in there. Okay. Then you have a line below it, and that's where you would write out the amount. Okay. In this case, it's 1,000, and the no 100s means that there's no change. So if I was paying Mickey $1,000.99, I'd put 99 over 100. Okay, that indicates the cents when you write it out. Down here on the bottom is a line that you can use to tell what the check is for. Let's say I'm paying Mickey $1,000 and he's sending me a bunch of movies. So maybe I put on there, this is just for you to know what the check was for when you go and look it up either online, or if you actually still get the canceled checks come back to you. So I put on there movies. Now this check is not valid until you sign it, okay? So once you've done the check and you've got it the way you want, if you put in there, right, movies, in order to make the check legal, you have to sign it. There you go, now the check is legal. This first number down here is a 9-digit series. It's called the routing number. The routing number identifies the bank. A lot of times you'll see it when you're making online payments and you're going to do an e-check. You would put that number in, and a lot of times the bank name will come right up. This identifies the financial institution. This number over here on the right is your account number. It's your checking account number. It's going to be on all your checks. Now, once Mickey has gotten the check and he wants to get the $1,000, well, he's going to take this check in and he's going to present it to his bank. And on the back here is an endorsement line. So Mickey's going to have to sign back here in order to be able to cash that check. A lot of times, if he's just putting it in his checking account, then he would a lot of times write for deposit only and then sign his name, and then the bank would put the money into his account. If he just signs it and gives it to the bank, they'll cash it and they'll probably actually give him the actual cash. The thing you notice that doesn't happen very often anymore is that you can endorse the check over to someone else. Let's say Mickey wants to pay Donald Duck and he owes him $1,000. So I pay Mickey. Mickey signs it and then he endorses it over to Donald. And he'll write Donald's name, and then Donald would sign it, and Donald would be able to either cash it or deposit it. That's really the simplest and easiest way to understand checks. They're not as used anymore with debit cards and credit cards being used more often, but that's basically how you would go about writing a check and how you'd go about either depositing or cashing the check. Thanks again for watching my video, and we'll see you next time.